The Democratic Alliance is holding its Human Rights Day commemorative event in Claremont in Johannesburg. Federal Chair Helen Zille is expected to highlight human rights violations affecting residents there. In her keynote address, Newsroom Africa's Zola Shawana is live from that location and joins us now. Zola, good morning.
A very good morning to you too, Iman. As we celebrate Human Rights Day, there are residents in some parts of South Africa who cannot celebrate this day as they haven't had consistent water supply just for over a decade. Areas like Hurstville, Brixton and Claremont have been complaining about water supply challenges for several years. We know that they have gone as far as signing petitions, taking matters to the streets, hoping that this issue will be addressed. As we speak, we are at one of the old age homes and they don't have water as we speak. Their taps are dry. Now, one can imagine how they are expected to survive under such conditions. But we do know that there are very limited JoJo tanks that are dispatched in this area. But of course, those can never be enough. Iman, later on, we do know that DA Federal Leader Helen Zille will be addressing the community of Claremont shortly from here. But let's hear from her before that event begins. Ma'am, thank you very much for your time. Just take us through the purpose of your visit in Claremont, to be quite specific.
Thank you very much, Zola. We are here today because it is Human Rights Day and because the human rights of the residents here are being violated by the fact that they don't have a primary human right, which is access to clean drinking water. Now, you mentioned Hurstville, and we understand that the Hurstville Reservoir has not been maintained by the Johannesburg City Council for many years. It has cracks in it, it can't be filled, and that is the reason that the people living in these communities don't have water. Now, this is a violation of their rights, and in fact, if the city of Johannesburg, instead of running all kinds of corrupt and lavish schemes, had just invested in basic maintenance, this would not have happened. And that is what happens when people have a government that really doesn't care about them and just cares about enriching cadres. And we are saying to all the people living here, in DA-run municipalities, this doesn't happen because we always invest in maintenance and make sure that the reservoirs are fixed and that the water supply is working. Here we have a situation where Johannesburg has had record rainfall, but people don't have water because the rainwater is not captured by the city council in the reservoirs, and then it doesn't get to the people in a clean and drinkable way. And it's tragic when I've been to all these flats, I see they filled their bathtubs with water that they've collected outside when it rains, so that they have water to flush their toilets. But they battle to get water to put, for example, in a kettle to have a cup of tea. No one in 2025 should be living like this, especially in the economic hub of South Africa, which is Johannesburg. And here you should be the richest municipality in the country. They're bankrupt now because of all the misspent money and the corruption. And instead of having huge resources to invest in maintenance and infrastructure, you have this situation with fundamental violation of human rights 30 years into our democracy.
Now, Helen, when it comes to this water issue, there's been a lot of blame and a blame game to be quite specific, especially when it comes to, the city of Tshwane, where that residents in Hammanskraal have been battling with water challenges, even when they were under the DA-led municipality. That has not been resolved. Should people be hopeful that under the government of national unity, perhaps things will change?
Well, the government of national unity is not responsible for basic service delivery. That is the local municipality. And here we have an ANC-led, multi-party, corrupt and failing municipality. And this is the consequence. In Tshwane, the Rooiwal wastewater treatment works was a corrupt tender given out long time ago by ANC cadres in the municipality. They were the officials there. And that failed again and again and again. And when Celia Brink was there, he actually got it on the road to be fixed and got clean water running there for the first time until the ANC ousted him again because he was too successful. In Cape Town, we have a maintenance and infrastructure budget that is bigger than all the other metros put together. because that is where the DA governs. We know where to put the money. We don't steal it. We put it into infrastructure and maintenance so that people can live with dignity, with their basic infrastructure, their water, their electricity, their sewerage, all of those things being maintained and delivered.
Thank you very much, Helen Zille, for your time. Let's also hear from a resident who's been battling with water here in this old age home. Sir, thank you very much for your time. Take us through your challenges, with water. I also understand that you also have electricity challenges as well.
Yes, the water problem is getting a serious problem because now they're playing with our sleeping times also, because during the evening you must well up and get up again. And then when we have pains, aches and pains, and it's difficult.
Mm-hmm. Are you supplied with maybe JoJo tanks as a temporary measure while they are still fixing this water issue?
Yes, we do have a JoJo tank, which was organized by Ernestine. Yeah, so we do have a JoJo tank that helps us. It helps, but that's all I've got to say about that.
But I mean, it might be a challenge considering the fact that most people that live here are the elderly and they're struggling to carry buckets by themselves.
Yeah, the bucket carrying, that's true. They do carry buckets by themselves, and that's a problem.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Well, Iman, that's one of the residents essentially taking us through their challenges that they encounter here at this old age home. And, this entire community has quite a number of them. And these people have to survive on JoJo tanks or have volunteers that are going to, help them carry buckets, because most of them are quite old and frail. So they struggle to carry those heavy buckets of water on a daily basis. So they have to sometimes camp in the evening because that's when, they get to see water run out of their taps. And this has been going on for just over a decade here, and they're hopeful that there will be changes perhaps this year, because they've taken matters to the streets several times and nothing has really been done to address their crisis. Back to you in studio.